Guys, get this. I'm pregnant, I'm about to give birth. So my due date is on the same date as my sister-in-law's wedding. Obviously, I can't control that. Well, you know what? She thinks that I can because she's telling me that the reason I wanted that due date was to ruin her wedding, guys. She's lost her marbles. But you won't believe which family member is taking her side. Wow. Well, I'm not really sure how to start this, actually. My life's sort of been really messy, and I don't have a lot of people around me recently that I can talk to about all this without feeling like I'm ruining my relationships in my real life. So I've decided to come on here to the interwebs and let you guys know what I've been going through. Basically, my soon-to-be sister-in-law hates my guts, and now she's blaming me for giving birth when her wedding is coming up. Let me run this down from the very beginning, though. You see, my soon-to-be sister-in-law Jackie has always been very jealous of me, and how well I get along with the family. I mean, the thing is, my husband, Nick, has always been very supportive of me throughout everything. And even though my brother-in-law is a good partner, Jackie has never been able to settle into the family very well. Nobody treats her badly or anything like that. I just feel she doesn't put enough effort and expects everybody to come running to her and ask her to hang out, and just do things like she's some sort of princess and we're her slaves. Well, I mean, if you're becoming part of a family, the least you can do is put some effort to interact with them and really get to know everybody on an individual basis. That's what I did, which is why I have such a good bond with everybody inside the family. I also think she's really jealous of the fact that Nick and I have always been together since we were kids, so everyone already knew me better than they knew her. Jackie met her fiancé during the last year of college. Basically, Nick and I were in the same elementary school when we were children, and after a few days of talking with each other, we realized that we've been inseparable because of how well we got along with each other. Our moms met often too, and they would even hang out together, while Nick and I would be off doing the most random things you can ever imagine children be doing. However, we fell apart during middle school. We had to move because of my father's job, which meant that I had to go to a different middle school, and Nick went to a different one also. Genuinely, we tried to keep in contact with one another, but it was just too hard, since we were barely teenagers, you know. I was just in my head trying to settle in and make new friends, and I didn't mean to leave Nick out of it, we just simply drifted apart. So, things got way better when we had to move back again and I went to the same high school as Nick. We got along so well and ended up dating, which turned into us getting married. Jackie started dating Kyle when I was in the family. You see, Nick has a younger brother, Kyle, whom Jackie's dating, and even when Jackie and Kyle were just friends, she never really seemed to like me. Every time she would come over to the house, she would give me the stink eye, and would take up every single opportunity that she could to avoid me like the plague and not talk to me at all. I discussed it with Nick once because I was very uncomfortable with her behavior, but he told me, well, we won't really do anything about it because Kyle won't listen, and this was not something he wanted to fight his brother over. Now, I know many of you may be thinking he's not a good husband if he's not defending me, but I need you guys to keep in mind that Jackie had not really done anything to me personally, except for just ignoring me. If that's all she was going to do, I had no problem ignoring her. I wasn't really dying to talk to her either. I mean, this was a situation that I did not want the two brothers fighting on, because at that point in our lives, Kyle and Nick had already been fighting a lot for various reasons. I didn't want myself to be another one of those reasons. However, things slowly started to get worse after Jackie became a part of the family after Kyle proposed to her. She started comparing everything I did to everything she did, and made me feel like I was in the wrong if Nick got me something, and Kyle did not get her anything. I mean, yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. Even though we lived in a different house, all of us lived only a few blocks away from each other, which made it really easy for Jackie to know what was happening in my life, and just try to pry on information. So, this one time, Nick got me an iPad and flowers for my birthday, and I didn't even know that Jackie realized I got a gift. Heck, I didn't even know that Jackie knew it was my birthday. However, a few days later, Nick was telling me that Kyle mentioned how Jackie was feeling jealous that I got an iPad and she didn't have one. So, she had been bugging Kyle into forcing him to get her an iPad as well. That's when I realized that she's really out to get me, and anything good that happens to me just stays hidden from her, because she's most definitely going to give me the stink eye if this sort of thing continues. She keeps track of everything Nick and I do, and I'm just so annoyed by it. But you know what's even more annoying? Her reaction when I announced my pregnancy. You see, I got pregnant around the 8-month mark, and I'd say by that time, Nick and I were already trying for a baby. But we didn't really tell anyone because we wanted it to be a secret, in case things didn't work out, or something like that. However, when the news broke that I was pregnant, everybody was happy for me except one person. You guessed it, it was Jackie. The entire family was at my house congratulating me and telling me how I could come to them if I ever needed help with something. Then Jackie came next. My husband was already keeping track of her moves because you can't really trust her that well, but I told him not to really worry about it because, the most that she would be doing is insulting me, which is exactly what she did. As soon as I got to her, she gave me the nastiest look ever and told me that I did this for attention. It absolutely baffled my mind because how do you get pregnant for attention? A child is a very big responsibility, and for Jackie to say that we did it just because I wanted the family's attention is very idiotic, and it made me really angry as well. However, I didn't want to create a scene because everybody was at our house and I wanted it to be a nice, happy gathering. So that's why I don't react or say anything and just let it be. Obviously, I told Nick about the entire situation and he was furious. That he wanted to just go and confront Jackie while also telling Kyle about the entire thing, but I forced him not to. I don't even know if Kyle knows the way his wife has been acting towards me or not, but I'm thinking logically about this. It was in his place, and, Jackie came over and told me that Nikki was being rude to her. I think I would have believed her without proof either. This is exactly why I've told Nick to not say anything to Kyle until, unless we can prove that we're talking about this. Anyways, if you think that this was the worst of it, be prepared to be shocked. The doctor told me some worrying news, guys. I might have to give birth 3 weeks early because of an emergency. I felt stressed and anxious about it, and when I shared this with my soon-to-be sister-in-law Jackie, guys, she gets really mad. Jackie thought I planned everything on purpose, saying I arranged my new due date to be on her wedding day. Come on. This idea was not only wrong, but also so confusing. I could not understand why she believed I would risk my baby's own health for something so minuscule and unimportant. I was surprised and hurt because I would never put my baby up to risk for that. I tried to explain that it was not my choice, obviously, and my only concern was the baby's health. But Jackie did not listen. Oh no, the arguments kept going, and it made a time that should be about support and care into something stressful and conflictful. I tried to stay focused on my baby's well-being and talked a lot with the doctor. The argument got loud and intense, and she said some pretty hurtful things, and I just tried my best to explain that it was not my choice, but she did not want to listen. See, the fight kept going, and other family members got involved, and it turned into a giant mess. The whole situation made me feel really sad and stressed out, and I just wanted everybody to understand that the baby's health was the most important thing. Jackie stood up and started yelling at me, telling me that I was jealous of her and that I could not stand not being the center of attention. Well, obviously, I was stunned. I mean, here I was, about to give birth to a child, and she was making it all about her? Nick tried to intervene, but Jackie was not having it at all. She stormed out of the room, leaving the rest of us in an awkward silence, and I felt humiliated and embarrassed like I had done something wrong. But as time went on, I realized that it wasn't me who was in the wrong. and at that moment it felt like our family was being torn apart at the seams. I could not help but wonder if we would ever be able to repair the damage caused by this explosive drama. Despite my best efforts to stay calm, I could not shake off the weight of the situation pressing down on me. The thought of potentially giving birth earlier than expected, combined with Jackie's baseless accusations, it really got to me. It felt like I was drowning in a sea of stress and emotional turmoil. Nick stood by my side through the whole situation, and I'm so glad because I don't think I would have been able to deal with the entire situation alone. Especially because of how emotionally I am during this trimester. He comforted me when Jackie got angry and supported my decision for the baby's health. Nick explained things to the family, trying to make them understand that it was not my fault. And right now, the family's kind of divided because they think it's just a one-time thing and, it'll all cool off. On the other hand, Kyle seemed really disappointed with how Jackie behaved. He did not support her actions and tried to talk sense into her. Kyle told Nick that he understood that my priority was the baby's well-being, and felt let down by Jackie's unnecessary anger because he really did not expect her to go to this length, just because of something that was out of my control. I don't know what's going to happen next though, because everyone's just really tense right now. What's up everybody, Mr. Reddito here. I hope you're enjoying your day so far. Guys, I do have 5 updates, and things are about to get a little wild. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe for daily videos, and let's just jump straight into the first update. Update number 1. Hey guys, it's been a week since Jackie went off on me. Things have not gotten better, they've actually gotten worse, and I'm confused. I'm not confused because they got worse. I knew they were going to get bad. I'm confused because the extent that Jackie has gone to is something that I would have never imagined her to go. I knew that she did not like me. That much was very obvious. I thought that she would just stick to insults and glares, trying to intimidate me or something. Although I'm not quite sure what she's trying to do because it's not like I can just quit being part of the family or something. She's the one who needs to be scared about this because she's not part of the family yet. The wedding can still be called off because there are a couple of weeks left and Kyle's already starting to feel uncomfortable with the way that she's acting with me. According to him, he tried talking to her about it and she just keeps saying how she doesn't like the fact that I keep getting everything that I want and everything good while nobody else gives her the time of day. Personally, we think it's kind of false that she's thinking that way, because we do try to treat her the same. We really do. Especially because she's going to be a part of the family soon. But Jackie doesn't really make it easy for us to do so because she puts in no effort in making conversations with someone in the family. The only person that she actually talks normally with is Kyle, and he can only do so much. If she wants a good relationship with the rest of the family, then she needs to show up and be interactive. I mean, aren't I right? Anyways, back to what she did. So, the week after we had a big fight where she had told everybody I had the emergency on purpose, and somehow I was putting my life in danger just to make sure I could deliver the baby on her wedding day, we also had a family dinner. I think it was mainly held to reduce tension because obviously everyone knew about the fight, and since they did not know all the behind the scenes of the nasty stuff, the way that Jackie acted towards me, they thought it was just a random burst of anger that she experienced because she was stressed. Stressed about her wedding preparation. Well, I think that's why they held the dinner, because they wanted us to reconcile and get back to normal. However, what happened 2 minutes before the dinner quite literally shocked me. You see, I was recording a Snapchat of myself because I thought I looked really pretty. But when I went to go see the video that I've just taken, I noticed Jackie standing over my dinner plate. She was adding something to my food. We'd already plated everyone's dinner, including the personal soup bowl, so she knew which one was mine and which one wasn't. I panicked a lot when I saw her adding something to it. I was almost going to show this to everybody to make them see what kind of person she was. But then I had a brilliant idea. Well, I pretended like I was chewing on the food at the table and quickly switched my food with Jackie's. Nobody noticed, but that's what I wanted. I wanted her to suffer from the consequences without realizing that she was failing and going right into my trap. It's been a few hours since this happened and we're back home. I showed Nick the video and he agrees with me that if Jackie falls sick, we're going to show the entire family the video and let them see what she was actually trying to do. Update number 2. So, Jackie did get sick. I know it's been almost 2 weeks since then, but I had to make the situation more clear before I could figure out what was happening. I mean, it was pretty obvious that she would be sick, because I have the entire thing on tape and I could tell that she added something to it. But I just wanted to be sure without being suspicious. So I thought I would wait until, they told us themselves that Jackie was sick. Since Kyle and Nick are extremely close, they tell each other almost every little thing in their life. I mean, there's no way that they wouldn't tell each other anything because they're literally on a cell phone call every day. So, a few days ago, Kyle called Nick up, and while they were talking, the phone was on speaker, as Nick and I worked our way around trying to tidy up our kitchen. That's when Kyle mentioned that Jackie's stomach has been really upset these past few days, and she's constantly going to the toilet without even having an hour of peace. Nick and I looked at each other, because this basically confirmed our suspicions about the entire thing, but I shook my head as a sign for Nick not to say anything, because I wanted to confront Jackie about the entire thing first. Alone while they were on the phone, I asked Kyle if I could come visit Jackie the day after just to see how she's holding up. When I get to their house the next day, Jackie was on the couch looking absolutely miserable. As soon as I entered, she glared at me and was about to say something snarky when she noticed that Kyle was right behind me. Fortunately, or maybe unfortunately, I'm not sure what to deem it as, but Kyle left the room to do something while I was in there alone with Jackie. That's when she let the biggest scowl show up on her face as she looked at my smirk and realized what had actually happened. I told her that I had the entire thing on video, and she needed to quit it before I ruined her life. Still, she could not believe I managed to switch the plate and was constantly arguing with me and calling me selfish because I, quote, made her sick. And I tried ruining her life once more. Though she literally tried to harm me while I was pregnant, might I add, the only thing I did was switch our food. Who knows what condition I would have been in if I had consumed the food that she gave me. I mean, I was slowly turning into a full-fledged argument, but the only reason it wasn't happening was because we were both aware of Kyle being in the next room over. Even though I didn't care because I was planning on telling him what happened anyways, Jackie was making sure that he would not hear a single peep about it. Well, her plan backfired because Kyle heard the entire thing. I didn't even know he was standing behind the door listening to the conversation until last night, when he called Nick and confessed that he was going to bring me some water until he heard Jackie mention how I poisoned her, and then heard the entire conversation after that. Well, he hasn't confronted Jackie yet, and it's been less than 24 hours since he told us he knew about the entire thing. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but he seemed pretty devastated, so I'm sure whatever it is, it's not going to be good. Update number 3. Jackie was not getting the hint. I mean, since Kyle knew the entire thing, I thought she was going to apologize to me and make sure that none of this ever happened again, but she's still so stubborn. Kyle apparently tried to talk to her and understand what was happening, because he could not believe his fiancée was treating me like this, but she just denied it, and said her actions were truly justified because I was the one who was constantly trying to steal her thunder. Even I talked to her and told her that she needs to quit or else I would expose her to everyone in the family. But she still did not get that through her thick skull, which is why I had to bring in their reinforcements. Basically, my plan was that I would invite everybody over to my house for dinner, and then show them the text and the videos of Jackie putting something in my food. That was the initial plan, but then Kyle came to me and was really stressed out about the entire thing, because he kept talking about how much he loved Jackie, but how he really also wanted to leave her and to make her stay away from the family. Well, you see, Kyle's a very big family person, so the fact that he's having to decide something like that, it must be very hard for him. You know, having to choose between the love of your life and keeping your family intact must be really hard for him. So I understand where he was coming from when he was telling me that he would try to make Jackie understand everything and their consequences, and if I could give him some more time before I went to the family, it would be great. However, I knew if I let it go on even a day more, my life would be terrible, and really, I had to make Kyle understand that. Thankfully, he did and said I can do whatever I wanted. So I called the entire family over for dinner and made sure everybody was well fed and comfortable, and during the first half of the dinner, Jackie was very smug because she thought everybody would take her side again, like they did the first time, but what she didn't know was that the only reason they took her side in the first place was because she's new to the family. And they genuinely thought it's because that, she was going through something mentally. I could see the gears turning in her head during the second half of the dinner as she watched me be super friendly with everybody and realized that things might not go her way. Well, they didn't. As soon as everybody was done with dinner, I showed them the video of her adding something to my food along with text, and she sent after the fight where she was telling me to stop trying to steal her spotlight. That, along with the fact that she got sick after I switched out plates, was enough to convince everybody that Jackie might not be who she thinks that she is. Well, a huge frenzy was created, and everybody was telling Jackie off for being so mean, especially considering the fact that I'm pregnant and her tactics have caused me a lot of mental stress. So, it's been a day since that dinner where Jackie burst into tears, just trying to explain that she did not mean it, but sometimes she gets in her head too much. I could tell that a couple of people in the family might have started to understand and side with her after she burst into tears, like a few of my aunts and uncles, but my mother-in-law and father-in-law have been entirely on my side. They've told Kyle that he needs to break the engagement because there's no way a girl with such malicious intentions could enter the family. I'm not sure what's going to happen next because I got incredibly weak, and I tried after everything, so I just, went to my room to get some rest while Nick dealt with everyone, but I'm sure there's a lot of drama to unfold in the next few days, and yes, I will keep you updated. Update number 4. So Jackie created another issue. Of course she did. Basically, what happened was, after the entire dinner drama that happened at my house, everybody left and got back to their own thing. However, Jackie is now full of rage. I think it's gotten so bad because she just has a jealous personality. And I basically exposed her and let everybody know what kind of person she actually is, which, then again ruined her chances of being in the family. She came to our house early in the morning and started ringing the doorbell aggressively enough that we all woke up, shocked at whoever was at the door. Then she proceeded to come in the house and scream at me and tell me that she was going to personally make sure that she ruined my life because that's what I did with her. While she was saying that, she also glanced down at my belly, and I figured out almost instantly that she was planning on making sure I would not have a healthy life and a baby as well. I'm not really sure why she's going to this extent to try to ruin my life, but I think she has some sort of narcissistic personality. Nobody agrees with me on this, but I'm so sure that's what it is, because why is coming to my house and threatening to ruin my life? I mean, I don't even start the drama. She was the one who was so jealous of me, and I told her that she needs to get her life straight and actually think about what she's doing or has done, but she would not budge. Instead, she starts screaming really loud about how selfish I was. So much so that Nick came out of his home office just to see what was happening and what the commotion was all about. I'm not gonna lie, having Nick with me was so great because I was genuinely very scared that she might hurt me if she wasn't in control of her emotions. She kept on going about how I overreacted about the entire situation, and I should not have done that because it was very childish to call everybody over for dinner and then expose her for something that was so minor. Honestly, guys, I was just so done with her crap at this point that I told her she needs to leave, and that I would be issuing a restraining order against her if she comes near me or my family again. I also told her that I was going to sue her as she was walking to her car to let her know that I don't mess with things that harm me or my family. Update number 5. The threat of suing her did more damage than I could have imagined. I mean, yes, I told her I was going to take her to jail and then have her face the consequences of her action, but I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to go down that path. I mean, I had a lot to take care of with this baby coming so soon and everything. I wasn't sure I was going to have time for this either way. However, Jackie obviously thought I was serious about the entire thing, and I don't blame her. I looked way too serious and mad when I issued that threat. Kyle was over at my house having lunch with Nick and me when we heard a loud pounding on the door. I gave a big sigh of relief as soon as I heard it because I knew this pounding could be no one else except Jackie. So I opened up the door and was going to tell her off for showing up when I said I'd get a restraining order and the next time that she showed me her face, but her tears blotched her face and it stopped me before I could say anything. She just barges into the house and went to the living room to find Nick and Kyle there and then burst into more tears, mumbling apologies and telling us how sorry she was for even thinking that she could be happy while trying to ruin my life. She apologized for putting something in my food and then acting all smug about it and begged me not to take any legal action. I mean, I was standing there without saying anything because I was so shocked that the once confident girl who was smug when I was trying to expose her was now standing in my living room with her face full of tears as she begged me for an apology. Kyle had already broken the engagement and even went to Jackie, who was crying in front of her. I could see how his heart was breaking into pieces, and I even half expected him to take her back, but she just shocked me when he told her that he could not even forgive her for trying to harm his family. He also mentioned that this was one instant and he could not trust Jackie with anything, so it's better if they stayed away from each other. I also told her that I would not sue her or anything, but only because I have too much going on right now and not because I feel sorry for her. I also told her that the next time she pulls something like this, I will not hesitate to throw her into the courtroom and sue her for everything. I have not deleted any of the proofs either. I think she understood because she gave a jerky nod as she left, and it's been a week since then and there's been no disturbance from her. I've been living in my life of peace. My baby's about to pop out soon, so I've been busy preparing for that as well, guys. We thought it would be tough to get back to our daily routine, but Nick and I have been so involved in the baby, it's kind of, at the back of our minds now. I mean, we're just happy that we've got this done with and that wicked woman is out of our lives. Kyle is obviously very sad. He lost the love of his life, but he knows that this woman was not good for him. She was selfish, and we've been there for him as much as we can, though. So hopefully he moves on or at least gets back to living his life. I mean, the fact that you're trying to legitimately poison somebody because they are setting up for a pregnancy on a date you don't want is just absolutely ridiculous. And poisoning someone at all is ridiculous, but the way that the sister-in-law went about it is just so crazy. And you know what? She got exactly what she deserved because she was the one who ate the soup. Guys, I just want to know your thoughts on today's story. It was a little wild. There was a lot of drama involved in it, and I do want to hear your opinion. Drop it down below in the comment section, guys. That would be great. My name's Mr. Reddito, as you can see. And if you're new to the channel, I want to say I drop a video every day. Consider subscribing and checking out my other channels as well. That would be Mr. Reddito Animated and Mr. Reddito's Revenge. Right now, you're on Mr. Reddito's Stories. So go ahead and check out the other two. Have a great day, and of course remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.